In the quiet of the night, Alex, a skilled lawyer with a reputation for being ruthless in the courtroom, receives an anonymous message. The text is simple but chilling. The judge is coming for you. He dismisses it at first as a prank, but the unsettling feeling grows when strange things begin happening. His car is tampered with, his office is broken into, and an ominous figure lurks in the shadows of his apartment building. Alex suspects his involvement in a controversial case may have caught the attention of someone dangerous. But who? Meanwhile, a young investigator named Maya, having heard of Alex's impeccable legal skills, approaches him with a case of her own. She's convinced someone is framing her brother for a crime he didn't commit, and Alex's expertise could help. As they begin to work together, Alex starts to realize that the case is far more complex than he originally thought. The deeper they dig, the more they uncover the corruption within the judicial system and a shadowy network pulling the strings. The message from earlier seems to have more weight now. Someone powerful is after him, and they won't stop until they silence him. With everything to lose, Alex prepares for a battle that could cost him his career, his freedom, and even his life. But he's not backing down. Not this time. The first warning was just the beginning. Alex and Maya begin digging into the case with renewed urgency, following a trail of strange occurrences. The deeper they go, the more dangerous the stakes become. A violent attack on Maya's brother, seemingly orchestrated by someone within the system, pushes them into high gear. It's clear that they are not just dealing with petty criminals, but with a vast and powerful criminal organization that has its roots deep within the justice system. The tension rises as Alex and Maya find themselves constantly on the move, never knowing who they can trust. Alex starts to feel the weight of the chase, but his resolve strengthens. He's not just fighting for Maya's brother anymore, he's fighting for his own life. Late one night, a mysterious figure visits his apartment, offering a cryptic warning about the judge. The words, "The judgment has been passed," echo in his mind as the figure vanishes into the darkness. With no safe place to turn, Alex decides to confront the judge head-on. But his plan is risky. The judge is not just a person, it's a title, and many people have worn that title. Alex must piece together a complex puzzle to uncover who is behind this twisted game and why he's been targeted. But he's not just being hunted, he's being manipulated. Every move he makes is being watched, and every ally he turns to may just be another pawn in a far larger game. As Alex inches closer to the truth, the walls begin closing in. A close friend and colleague in the legal world betrays him, revealing themselves to be an informant for the enemy. The betrayal cuts deep. With this new knowledge, Alex is forced to confront the fact that the battle isn't just about a legal case, it's about survival. His own professional network, which he had relied on for years, has been infiltrated. The betrayal becomes personal when Alex's family is targeted. A bomb threat at his mother's house forces him to take drastic action. Alex's emotions are torn between his duty to the law and his desire to protect his loved ones. As tensions rise, the courtroom becomes a battleground, not just for justice but for survival. Every piece of evidence is tainted, every witness is compromised, and Alex's every move is being anticipated. But Alex refuses to back down. He knows that to win this war, he must outsmart his enemies at every turn. He begins to use the system against itself, manipulating legal loopholes and clever strategies to expose those who have been pulling the strings from behind the scenes. It's a high-risk game, and Alex knows that one wrong move could end it all. The battle between Alexander and the shadowy figures behind the judge escalates. They begin to make their move, forcing Alex to flee for his life. As he evades pursuers through back alleys, deserted streets, and hidden safe houses, Alex must rely on his instincts and his sharp legal mind to stay ahead. Maya continues to help, providing critical information and resources, but the enemy is always one step ahead. It becomes clear that this is not just a personal vendetta. The people chasing Alex are part of a vast criminal syndicate that has infiltrated every level of society, from law enforcement to the highest echelons of government. The stakes are higher than Alex could have ever imagined. The judge is not just a person, it's a symbol of a broken system that Alex now finds himself trying to take down from the inside out. As the chase grows more intense, Alex's strategy changes. He goes on the offensive, starting a covert investigation into the judge's operations. He taps into a network of underground hackers, illegal informants, and whistleblowers, risking everything to expose the truth. Every piece of evidence he uncovers leads him deeper into a labyrinth of corruption and deceit. The closer he gets to the heart of the conspiracy, the more dangerous the game becomes. The tables turn when Alex is falsely accused of bribing a high-profile politician. The charges come out of nowhere, leaving him with no time to react. As the legal world's against him, Alex finds himself on the run once again, this time from the very system he's fought so hard to uphold. Maya's brother, who had been a pawn in the larger scheme, is suddenly thrown back into the spotlight as the key witness in the fabricated case. Desperate to clear his name, Alex begins to connect the dots. The accusation against him is too well timed, and it's designed to trap him in a corner where he can't fight back. His only chance is to use his legal expertise to find a flaw in the case. But with his resources dwindling and his allies disappearing, it becomes harder by the day. As Alex's reputation is shredded publicly, Maya steps in to uncover the truth. In a surprising twist, Maya uncovers a potential lead, a hidden file containing evidence of illegal activities in the judiciary that points directly to the judge's network. However, getting this information into the right hands means taking an incredible risk. Alex must decide whether to trust a stranger with the evidence or take matters into his own hands. The weight of the decision is crushing, knowing that one wrong move could seal his fate. The tension reaches a boiling point when Alex receives a threat. If he doesn't stop his pursuit of the judge, someone close to him will be the next target. Faced with the ultimate test of loyalty, Alex must decide how far he's willing to go for justice. The game changes when Alex learns of a secret network operating within the law enforcement community. This network isn't just a group of rogue officers, but a shadow organization influencing everything from court rulings to criminal investigations. Alex realizes that the judge is part of something much larger than he initially thought, and the entire system is rigged against him. As Alex delves deeper, he uncovers a chilling fact. The network's reach extends into every corner of society, from corporate giants to underground criminal syndicates. The implications are staggering. No one is safe, and the people Alex has trusted the most might be part of the conspiracy. The more he learns, the more isolated he becomes. The people he once considered friends are now potential threats, and trust is in short supply. Maya, determined to stay by his side, digs into the network's financial transactions. She uncovers links to some of the most powerful figures in the country, and the evidence is undeniable. However, the deeper they go, the more dangerous their situation becomes. The network has eyes everywhere, and no one, not even Maya, is safe. Alex begins to feel the full weight of their mission, knowing that they're up against a force far beyond their control. In a daring move, Alex and Maya use the information they've gathered to leverage a meeting with a whistleblower who claims to know the network's inner workings. But the meeting quickly turns into a trap, and they narrowly escape with their lives. The game has escalated, and there's no turning back now. As the hunt intensifies, Alex learns that the judge has enlisted the help of a silent assassin, a ruthless killer known only as the Ghost. This individual is responsible for eliminating anyone who dares to challenge the judge's power. Alex's life is now in immediate danger, but he's determined not to back down. The stakes are higher than ever as he becomes the primary target of this mysterious assassin. The Ghost is a legend in the underground world, feared by all who know of him. He's never been caught, never left a trace, and always gets the job done. Alex realizes that surviving this pursuit will require more than just legal expertise. It will take every ounce of his intelligence and wit to outsmart an adversary like this. Maya suggests a radical idea: to lure the Ghost out by using the very evidence they've uncovered against the judge. They set a trap, sending out a message to the assassin that leads him into a carefully orchestrated ambush. But things quickly spiral out of control. The Ghost is more skilled and deadly than they anticipated, and they barely escape with their lives. With the assassin hot on their heels, Alex and Maya must go underground. The walls are closing in, and they have nowhere to hide. Trust is scarce, and every decision could be their last. As Alex plans his next move, he knows that the battle is no longer just about justice. It's about survival. In a desperate bid to find an ally, Alex reaches out to a former client who has information about the judge's past. This client, a journalist, has been keeping track of the judge's rise to power and has amassed a wealth of information that could expose the corruption at the heart of the judicial system. However, the journalist is wary of coming forward, fearing for their life. Alex convinces the journalist to meet in a secluded location where they can exchange the crucial information. The meeting is tense, but the journalist provides a key piece of evidence, a recording of a conversation between the judge and a high-ranking government official. In the recording, they discuss manipulating trials and sentencing to serve their own interests. This is the smoking gun Alex has been searching for, and it could bring the entire network down. But their success is short-lived. As soon as they leave the meeting, the journalist is gunned down in cold blood. The assassin's handiwork is unmistakable, and Alex knows that he's now a marked man. With the information in hand, he races against time to find a way to expose the judge before his enemies can silence him forever. But the closer Alex gets to the truth, the more dangerous the game becomes. With enemies closing in from all sides, Alex and Maya realize that their only chance of survival is to leave the country. But the journey won't be easy. They must cross borders, avoid surveillance, and rely on a network of underground operatives to help them escape. As Alex formulates an escape plan, he becomes more desperate, knowing that this is their last shot at freedom. Maya's brother, now out of prison, offers his help in securing fake identities and transportation, but the risks are immense. Any misstep could mean capture or death. As the escape begins, Alex reflects on how far he's come, from a respected lawyer to a fugitive on the run. The weight of the past months hangs heavy on his shoulders, but there's no turning back now. As they begin their journey, tensions run high. Every person they meet, every location they visit, could be a trap set by their enemies. The fear of betrayal is ever present, but they must press on. With the evidence they've gathered, Alex knows that the judge's empire is on the brink of collapse. But first, they must survive long enough to bring the truth to light. As Alex and Maya near the border, they encounter an unexpected ally, a former law enforcement officer who claims to have information that could help them escape. They're initially cautious, but the officer seems sincere, offering them a safe passage. However, their newfound trust is shattered when the officer betrays them, alerting their pursuers to their location. The betrayal is a devastating blow, and Alex and Maya barely manage to escape with their lives. The chase intensifies as their enemies close in, and the walls seem to close in on them at every turn. Alex realizes that no one can be trusted anymore. The fight for survival has become even more personal, and the consequences of failure are unthinkable. But Alex's determination remains unshaken. He knows that the judge must be stopped, no matter the cost. As they race toward the border, they must outwit the enemies who now hunt them and navigate a treacherous path to freedom. The stakes have never been higher, and Alex is willing to risk everything to see this fight through to the end. Alex and Maya are forced into an unlikely alliance with one of the underground operatives, Victor, who claims he can get them to safety in exchange for the evidence they've gathered against the judge. Though skeptical, Alex sees no other option. Victor leads them through a maze of hidden passageways and abandoned buildings, taking them to a safe house where they can regroup. However, Alex's suspicions about Victor grow as they spend more time together. Something feels off, and the constant paranoia takes its toll. Every noise seems amplified in the silence of their hideout, and Alex wonders if they've traded one threat for another. Maya, ever the optimist, reassures him that they have no choice but to trust Victor. For now. But as night falls, the unease remains. Suddenly, a loud crash shakes the house. Alex and Maya rush to the source, only to find that Victor has vanished, taking the evidence with him. The betrayal is swift, and they realize they've been set up. The man they trusted is likely working for the judge. The chase is on again, but this time, Alex knows they can't afford any mistakes. They can't let the evidence fall into the wrong hands, and the only way out is to hunt down Victor before the judge uses their evidence against them. With nowhere left to turn, Alex begins planning his next move. There's no more running. He needs to take control of the situation. And that means confronting Victor. But first, they'll have to survive the next few hours and the enemies on their tail. Victor's betrayal shakes Alex, but there's no time to dwell on it. The evidence thereafter is crucial for bringing down the judge and the criminal empire that controls the justice system. They must act fast. Alex and Maya scramble to formulate a plan to track Victor down, but their resources are limited, and their options are few. Their best lead comes from a contact inside a rival gang who owes Alex a favor. The gang's involvement in underground dealings could help them pinpoint Victor's whereabouts. As Alex and Maya approach the gang's headquarters, they're confronted by armed guards, forcing them into a dangerous negotiation. Alex knows that any wrong move could lead to a deadly confrontation, but he plays the game with his usual precision, using his legal knowledge to broker a deal. The tension is palpable as they navigate the fine line between gaining information and avoiding violence. With the gang's help, Alex learns that Victor has crossed into a neighboring country. It's a risky journey, but the urgency of their mission overrides any fears. They gather what little they can from the gang and prepare for a long and perilous road. As they travel, Alex reflects on how much the world has changed for him since this began. What started as a fight for justice has turned into a battle for survival, with no guarantee of a happy ending. But Alex knows this. They're not just fighting for their lives anymore. They're fighting for the future. And as long as they have the evidence, they hold the power to bring down the judge. The stakes have never been higher. Alex and Maya cross the border into a foreign country, determined to track down Victor and retrieve the evidence that could dismantle the judge's empire. The unfamiliar landscape is both an advantage and a disadvantage, as they must rely on limited contacts and resources. They find themselves in a bustling city, full of people who have no idea of the danger lurking in the shadows. They're careful to avoid drawing attention, moving through the city's underbelly, where the criminal elements are thickest. Alex's instincts tell him that they're getting close, but the closer they get to Victor, the more they feel the weight of the world closing in on them. They've been running for so long, and each step forward feels like one closer to a deadly confrontation. Maya's resolve is unwavering, but even she can sense the increasing danger. Their search leads them to an underground fight club, a den of criminals and shady characters where Victor is rumored to be hiding. Alex and Maya make their way inside, blending into the crowd of onlookers. The atmosphere is tense, and every person seems to have a story of their own. But Alex's focus is solely on finding Victor. The underground network has eyes and ears everywhere, and he knows that if they're not careful, they'll be discovered before they get a chance to strike. The tension escalates when they spot Victor in the crowd, flanked by dangerous-looking individuals. Alex's heart races as he plans his next move. This could be the moment that everything changes, the moment that either brings them closer to justice or seals their fate forever. The moment Alex has been waiting for arrives. He and Maya close in on Victor, who, despite his earlier betrayal, appears unaware of their presence. Alex signals to Maya, who nods silently, and they move into position. Every part of their plan hinges on this one encounter. They have no backup, no allies, and no guarantee of success. Victor's arrogance is his undoing. As Alex steps forward, Victor looks up in surprise, realizing too late that he's been cornered. The confrontation is tense, words exchanged quickly, but there's no time for lengthy explanations. Alex demands the evidence, and Victor laughs, taunting him. But Alex's patience has worn thin. He's ready for whatever comes next, knowing that this battle could cost him his life. Maya stands by Alex's side, ready to act at a moment's notice. The underground fight club's crowd watches, sensing that something big is about to happen. Suddenly, gunshots ring out. The chaos erupts as Victor's men spring into action, surrounding Alex and Maya. A firefight ensues, and Alex's world spins into a blur of gunfire, shouts, and chaos. In the chaos, Alex takes a hit, but Maya manages to pull him to safety. They're alive, but not unscathed. The evidence is still out there, and the judge is closer than ever. With Victor dead or incapacitated, they now have to plan their next move, one that will take them straight into the heart of the conspiracy. Bloodied but determined, Alex and Maya make a desperate escape from the fight club. The streets outside are filled with the sounds of sirens and shouting, signaling that they are no longer safe. The odds are stacked against them, but Alex's mind races as he formulates their next steps. They need to get out of the city and find a safe place to regroup. Maya helps Alex into a hidden alley where they exchange brief but vital information about their escape route. Alex knows they can't rely on their old contacts anymore. They're too deep in the enemy's territory, and everyone they've known is compromised. The best option is to disappear. The next few hours are a blur of running through narrow streets, avoiding detection, and hiding in plain sight. They eventually make their way to a safe house, but Alex knows that this brief respite will be short-lived. The danger is everywhere, and the longer they stay in one place, the more likely it is that the judge's men will find them. They have to keep moving. But even in the safety of their temporary refuge, Alex's mind is consumed by one thought. How close is the judge? And how much longer can they stay ahead of a system that is designed to crush them? As Alex and Maya regroup in their safe house, Alex begins to piece together the final pieces of the puzzle. The judge isn't just a figurehead. They are the mastermind behind a web of influence that stretches beyond the judicial system and into global politics and criminal networks. Every move Alex has made has been monitored, and the unseen hand of the judge has been manipulating events from the shadows. Maya, ever the determined ally, refuses to let the growing pressure overwhelm her. She suggests going directly to the media, but Alex knows this would be a suicide mission. The media is part of the system that the judge controls, and exposing the conspiracy publicly would only put them further in harm's way. Instead, Alex believes they need to gather irrefutable proof, evidence that no one can ignore. The next step is a daring heist. Alex plans to infiltrate a high-security government building where the final piece of evidence is stored. Documents linking the judge to illegal arms deals, money laundering, and the orchestration of multiple assassinations. But getting in won't be easy. The building is surrounded by guards, cameras, and high-tech security systems that seem impenetrable. But Alex isn't intimidated. With Maya by his side and a plan in place, he knows that this mission could either make or break them. The night before the heist, Alex and Maya review the plan one final time. The building is a fortress, with state-of-the-art security systems and armed guards patrolling every floor. There is no margin for error. Alex feels the weight of the mission on his shoulders, but he knows this is their only shot at taking down the judge. They'll need to slip in unnoticed, retrieve the documents, and slip out before anyone even realizes they were there. The plan is risky. Alex will infiltrate the building, disguised as a janitor, while Maya will provide surveillance from a nearby rooftop, watching for any signs of danger. They've spent days studying the building's blueprints, memorizing the guard rotations and blind spots in the security cameras. But nothing can prepare them for the unexpected. An emergency lockdown triggered by an outside threat. They have a limited window to complete their mission before the building goes into full lockdown. As Alex enters the building under the guise of cleaning staff, his heart races. He's aware of the risks, but there's no turning back now. Maya watches from above, her eyes constantly scanning for any signs of trouble. They communicate through discreet earpieces, with Maya giving Alex the green light to proceed whenever the coast is clear. Every step feels like it could be their last, but they push forward with determination. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, Alex reaches the vault where the critical evidence is stored. He begins working on the security code, his fingers moving with precision. Just as he unlocks the door, an alarm blares. The building is in lockdown. Alex and Maya have only minutes to escape. The alarm echoes through the corridors of the building, and Alex's heart skips a beat. Maya's voice crackles in his earpiece, urgent but calm. "You need to move now." She's already scanning for exit routes, but Alex knows the situation is getting worse by the second. The security systems are locking down the entire building, and every guard in the area is now on high alert. Alex grabs the documents and slips them into his bag, making sure not to leave anything behind. He moves swiftly through the halls, using the shadows to hide his movements. He's too close to failure to let anything stop him now. The sound of heavy footsteps grows louder as guards rush toward his location. Maya's instructions are clear. Exit through the maintenance tunnels. They'll lead you out into the alley behind the building. Alex reaches the maintenance door, but just as he's about to slip through, a guard spots him. The chase begins. The guard shouts for backup as Alex dashes through the darkened hallways, narrowly avoiding capture. He can hear the footsteps closing in, and panic begins to rise in his chest. There's no way out if they catch him here. His only chance is to outrun them. Maya's voice in his earpiece is a lifeline. "You're almost there, Alex. Just keep running." Alex sprints toward the maintenance tunnels, praying he's not too late. The guards are close now, and his lungs are burning with every step. But then a sound echoes in the distance. A siren blares, signaling that he's almost at the exit. The chase is almost over. With a burst of adrenaline, Alex makes it to the maintenance tunnels just as the guards are closing in. The door slams shut behind him, and he takes a moment to catch his breath, listening for any signs that the guards are pursuing. For a few tense moments, there's silence, then the unmistakable sound of footsteps echoing in the tunnels behind him. He knows they won't stop chasing him until he's caught. Maya's voice rings in his ear again, more urgent now. "Alex, you have to move. There's another exit ahead, but it's on the other side of the compound. You need to hurry." Her words propel him forward. He pushes himself harder, his body aching from the exertion. He can't afford to slow down now, not when the judge's empire is so close to falling. The tunnels twist and turn, and every noise seems amplified in the tight, oppressive space. Alex's mind races, calculating every possible outcome. He knows they can't stay hidden for long, but the tunnels provide a temporary shield from the chaos above. After what feels like hours, Alex sees the faint glow of light up ahead. The exit is within reach, but just as he's about to push open the door, he hears a noise behind him. A soft rustling. A figure steps into the dim light. It's Victor, the man who betrayed him, standing in his path. "You think you've won?" Victor sneers. "The game's just begun." Alex tenses, but he knows he has no choice but to fight his way through if he wants to make it out alive. Victor's smirk only fuels Alex's rage. The betrayal cuts deep, and Alex knows that he can't let Victor escape again. Their lives are intertwined in a deadly game, and this time, Alex isn't going to let Victor walk away. Without a word, Alex rushes at Victor, tackling him to the ground. They grapple in the dark, each struggling to gain the upper hand. Victor's strength is formidable, but Alex's determination is unshakable. Maya's voice crackles in Alex's earpiece, urging him to finish the fight. "Alex, get out of there. The police are on their way." But Alex's focus is solely on Victor. He can hear the distant sound of sirens, but all that matters now is ending this once and for all. With a final, brutal push, Alex overpowers Victor and pins him to the ground. "Where's the judge?" Alex demands, his voice low and menacing. Victor laughs weakly, blood trickling from his mouth. "You'll never reach him," he gasps. He's too powerful. But Alex isn't intimidated. He forces Victor to give him the final clue, the location of the judge's headquarters. With the information in hand, Alex leaves Victor behind, moving quickly to the exit. He emerges into the cool night air, breathing heavily but relieved. The game is far from over, but with the judge's location now known, Alex is one step closer to ending the reign of terror once and for all. With the judge's location now confirmed, Alex and Maya know that they're on the brink of the final confrontation. There's no turning back now. The battle that started as a quest for justice has turned into a fight for survival, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The judge is no ordinary criminal. He's a mastermind with resources and influence that stretch across continents. Alex feels the weight of the mission pressing down on him as they prepare for the final assault. They have no allies left, no backup, and no guarantees. It's just the two of them against an empire of corruption and violence. Maya's resolve is unwavering, and Alex is more determined than ever. This is their chance to bring down the judge once and for all and expose the depths of the conspiracy. As they approach the judge's compound, Alex feels a sense of foreboding. This is the heart of darkness, a place where even the bravest fear to tread. The compound is heavily guarded, surrounded by high walls and surveillance systems that make it nearly impenetrable. But Alex and Maya have no choice. They can't let fear stop them now. They make their way through the shadows, using the cover of night to conceal their movements. The compound looms ahead, a fortress of power and corruption. The final showdown is near. Alex knows that no matter what happens, this mission will change everything. As they get closer to the judge's compound, the tension between Alex and Maya builds. They know that any misstep could lead to capture or worse. Maya scans the area, observing the guards and cameras, while Alex tries to steady his breathing. The compound is a fortress, but they've come too far to turn back now. Every step brings them closer to the end of this nightmare. They enter a hidden passage beneath the compound that Maya had researched. It's dark and damp, a stark contrast to the well-lit halls above. They move silently, relying on the faint glow of their night vision goggles to guide them through the maze of tunnels. This underground network, used for moving supplies and personnel without detection, offers them the only chance to infiltrate the compound unnoticed. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoes in the distance. Maya pulls Alex into a small alcove, holding her breath as the guard walks past. The hairs on the back of Alex's neck stand up. They are so close to their goal, but they can't afford to be careless. They wait until the guard is out of sight before continuing their journey. They can almost taste victory. Eventually, they reach the heart of the compound, where the judge is rumored to operate. The room is massive, filled with screens and control panels. The walls are lined with expensive artwork, a reminder of the judge's wealth and power. But in the center of it all is a safe, nearly impregnable and heavily guarded. Alex knows that this is it, the final step. He and Maya have come too far to fail now. The security system surrounding the judge's inner sanctum is sophisticated, more advanced than anything Alex has encountered. To gain access to the vault, Alex must bypass multiple layers of protection: biometric scans, motion sensors, and encrypted locks. The pressure is mounting. If they're caught now, it will all be over. Maya whispers instructions into his earpiece, guiding him through each obstacle. Alex works quickly, using tools he's acquired along the way to disable the security system. He keeps his movements precise, never wasting a second. He can hear the sound of guards patrolling outside the vault's door, their footsteps echoing in the silence. With each passing second, the risk grows higher, but he remains focused. Maya's calm voice continues to guide him, offering encouragement when needed. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, Alex successfully deactivates the final security measure. The vault door creaks open, revealing the judge's most guarded secrets: files, documents, and recordings that could bring down an empire. Alex's hands tremble as he reaches for the documents, knowing the weight of what he holds. These files are the key to exposing everything: the judge's illegal operations, his connections, and his criminal empire. Maya urges him to hurry, and Alex quickly gathers the documents, shoving them into his bag. But just as he turns to leave, a voice echoes through the room. "I knew you would come for this." The judge's presence is felt before he even appears, and Alex feels a chill run down his spine. The final showdown has arrived. The judge steps out of the shadows, his calm demeanor contrasting sharply with the chaos of the situation. He's tall, with a piercing gaze and a cold smile that sends shivers down Alex's spine. "You think you've won?" The judge says, his voice smooth, almost mocking. "You have no idea what you're dealing with." Alex grips the bag containing the documents tighter, knowing that this confrontation is inevitable. Maya's voice crackles in Alex's earpiece, urging him to leave, but Alex can't bring himself to turn away. This is the moment he's been waiting for, and he knows it could be their only chance to stop the judge once and for all. The judge doesn't seem concerned about the presence of intruders. Instead, he's intrigued by Alex's persistence. "You're more resourceful than I thought," he says, stepping closer. "But you're too late. You've already lost." Alex stands his ground. "It's over. You can't keep running your empire when the truth comes to light." The judge chuckles, a sound that sends a wave of unease through Alex. "You think you've uncovered everything? You've only scratched the surface. There are things in motion that you can't even begin to understand." Alex's grip tightens on the documents. He's come too far to be intimidated now. "We'll see about that," he says, readying himself for whatever comes next. Before Alex can make another move, the judge's guards burst into the room, surrounding him from all sides. Alex's heart races. This is it, the final battle. But even with his back against the wall, Alex refuses to back down. He's come too far, and the judge's reign of terror is about to end. The room fills with tension as Alex faces off against the judge and his armed guards. The stakes couldn't be higher. One wrong move, and everything Alex and Maya have worked for will be lost. The judge stands behind his guards, watching the scene unfold with a smug expression, clearly confident in his control over the situation. Maya's voice is urgent in Alex's earpiece. "You need to fight your way out of this now." The sound of guards shifting positions fills the room as Alex weighs his options. There's no easy way out, but the only thing he knows for sure is that he can't let the judge escape. The documents in his possession hold the key to destroying the judge's empire, and he's not about to hand them over. Alex takes a deep breath, his instincts kicking in. With a swift motion, he knocks one guard to the ground, using the element of surprise to his advantage. The others rush at him, but Alex is fast, using the room's furniture to shield himself and create openings for attack. Each punch, each movement is calculated and precise. The guards may have the numbers, but Alex has the edge of experience and determination. The battle rages on, but Alex feels the tide beginning to turn. One by one, the guards are subdued. The judge's smirk begins to fade, and a hint of concern crosses his face. He didn't expect Alex to be this strong, this relentless. As the last guard falls, Alex turns toward the judge, ready to end this once and for all. The judge is no longer untouchable. He's about to face the consequences of his actions. With all the guards incapacitated, Alex stands tall, his breath heavy but controlled. The judge, who had once seemed untouchable, now looks vulnerable. He steps back, his expression shifting from arrogance to something closer to fear. "You think this changes anything?" The judge sneers, trying to regain his composure. But Alex isn't listening. He's focused on the goal, the documents that hold the key to bringing this criminal empire to its knees. Maya's voice crackles in Alex's earpiece, still calm despite the chaos. "You need to end this now, Alex. Get the judge and those files out of there before reinforcements arrive." Alex knows she's right. There's no time for hesitation. He moves toward the judge, eyes narrowing with resolve. The time for talking is over. The judge made a mistake when he underestimated Alex's determination. The judge tries to make a last-ditch effort, reaching for a hidden weapon. But Alex is faster. In one fluid motion, Alex disarms him and forces him to the ground. "You're not getting away this time," Alex says, his voice low and firm. The judge glares at him, his pride shattered. Alex takes a deep breath, knowing that the hard part is far from over. He has to ensure the judge faces justice, true justice, not the kind the judge has manipulated for years. The room is eerily quiet now, the sounds of the battle fading into the background. Alex stands over the fallen judge, a sense of accomplishment washing over him. But it's not over yet. They still need to get out, and the danger isn't gone. As he looks at the documents, Alex knows that their mission is only half complete. The real fight is just beginning. With the judge captured and the documents secured, Alex knows the most dangerous part of the mission lies ahead, escaping the compound. The building is still under lockdown, and reinforcements will be on their way soon. Maya's voice comes through once again, sharp and clear. "You need to leave now, Alex. There's no time to waste." Alex nods, knowing that every second counts. They move quickly, retracing their steps through the maintenance tunnels, hoping to avoid detection. The air is thick with tension as Alex's mind races, trying to anticipate every move, every potential threat. They can't afford to make a mistake now. The stakes are too high, and they both know it. The judge's empire might be crumbling, but there are still powerful people who would stop at nothing to protect him. As they approach the exit, Alex's pulse quickens. The sound of sirens is growing louder, and the entire compound feels like it's closing in on them. Just as they're about to exit the tunnels, the sound of footsteps echoes down the hall. They freeze, listening for any sign of the approaching guards. The tension is palpable as Alex and Maya wait, holding their breath. Then, the footsteps fade and they make their move, slipping out into the dark night. The alley is quiet, the world outside the compound unaware of the chaos inside. Alex and Maya pause for a moment, catching their breath, the adrenaline slowly ebbing away. They've escaped, but they know that the fight is far from over. The documents in Alex's possession are crucial, and now they have to expose the truth to the world. But for now, they have one last task: to disappear before the judge's people can retaliate. The silence of the night offers a brief moment of relief, but Alex and Maya know the storm is far from over. They've managed to escape the compound, but the real battle has just begun. The documents in Alex's bag contain enough evidence to take down the judge and his empire, but getting that information to the right people will be no easy task. They need a plan, and they need it fast. As they drive through the city, Maya formulates a strategy. "We need to get these files to someone we trust," she says, her voice firm. "Someone who can blow the lid off this operation without getting us killed." Alex nods, his mind racing. The judge has powerful allies, and any wrong move could lead to disaster. But they can't back down now. The truth must come out. They decide to contact an investigative journalist known for exposing corruption, someone who has the resources and reach to make a real difference. Maya makes the call, and within minutes, the plan is in motion. The journalist agrees to meet them at a secure location, and Alex feels a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they'll be able to turn the tide. As they approach the rendezvous point, Alex can't shake the feeling that they're being watched. His instincts are on high alert, and he keeps a sharp eye on their surroundings. He knows the judge's reach extends far beyond the compound, and the real danger is still out there, lurking in the shadows. They can't afford any mistakes now. Just as they approach the meeting location, Alex's suspicions are confirmed. A car pulls up alongside them, blocking their path. Two men step out, dressed in dark suits, their expressions cold and unreadable. Alex's heart skips a beat. He knows these men, agents of the judge's organization. The betrayal has already begun. Maya reacts quickly, reaching for her weapon, but Alex stops her. "We don't need more bloodshed," he says, his voice steady. "We need to get out of here now." The agents don't speak, but their presence is enough of a warning. They're not here for a friendly chat. Alex grips the documents tighter, knowing that these men will stop at nothing to get them back. The standoff is tense. The agents block their escape route, and for a moment it feels like the walls are closing in. But Alex refuses to back down. He's not going to let the judge win, not after everything they've fought for. Maya watches him, her hand still on her weapon, waiting for his signal. Alex nods, signaling that they need to make a run for it. In one swift motion, Alex accelerates, crashing through the barricade of agents. The car screeches as they race past, narrowly avoiding capture. They're not out of danger yet, but the first step has been taken. They're alive, and the fight continues. The documents are still in their hands, and they're one step closer to exposing the judge's empire. With the agents in pursuit, Alex and Maya drive through the city's winding streets, desperate to lose their tail. The sound of sirens fills the air, adding to the tension. They finally reach the meeting location, an old warehouse at the edge of the city. The journalist is already waiting inside, a man with sharp eyes and a reputation for getting things done. He's the only one who can help them now. As Alex enters the warehouse, the journalist's eyes narrow. "You've got the files, I assume?" he asks, his voice low. Alex nods, handing over the documents. The journalist quickly scans the contents, his expression changing as he processes the information. "This is explosive," he murmurs. "It's everything the world needs to see." But then, his expression shifts. "But exposing this, there's a price. The judge won't stop until you're both dead." Maya steps forward, her voice firm. "We're not backing down. We're not afraid." The journalist hesitates, weighing his options. Finally, he nods, his face grim. "I'll get this to the right people," he says. "But you need to lay low. The judge will be hunting you from this moment on." Alex and Maya exchange a look. The endgame is near, but they know the final test is yet to come. The days that follow are filled with tension. Alex and Maya lay low, knowing that the world is on the verge of learning the truth about the judge and his criminal empire. The journalist, whose name is Liam, assures them that he's getting the information into the right hands, but Alex can't shake the feeling that they're being watched. Every shadow, every passing car feels like a potential threat. Maya stays in constant contact with Liam, receiving occasional updates about the progress of the story's release. But despite the constant communication, the feeling of impending danger never subsides. The judge is a powerful man with connections that run deep, and Alex knows it's only a matter of time before those connections come for them. The thought gnaws at him, but he refuses to let it break his focus. The mission isn't over yet. Alex spends his time reviewing the documents, analyzing the information they've gathered. Every page is a piece of the puzzle, each one leading to another shocking revelation. The corruption and illegal dealings span across countries, touching the highest levels of government and business. It's overwhelming, and yet Alex knows that exposing it all is the only way to bring justice. Maya, ever the optimist, continues to push forward, urging Alex to stay strong. She knows the danger they're in, but she also knows that they're closer than ever to bringing the judge to justice. The weight of their decision is heavy, but the truth is worth the risk. They've come this far. There's no turning back now. As the days pass, Alex begins to notice strange things happening around them. Their safe house, which once felt like a refuge, now feels like a trap. The windows are always slightly ajar, the door lock seems off, and Alex can't shake the feeling that someone has been inside. Maya is more focused on their next move, but Alex's instincts are screaming at him that they've been compromised. One night, Alex spots a car parked across the street from their safe house, its headlights on but no one inside. He's seen this before, and it's not a good sign. He's learned enough over the past few weeks to recognize surveillance when he sees it. The judge's men are closing in. He can feel the pressure building. They're not safe anymore. The walls are closing in on them, and time is running out. Maya doesn't seem to notice the growing danger. She's still focused on the bigger picture, pushing forward with the plan to expose the judge's empire. But Alex can't help but worry. He knows that the moment they make their move, they'll be walking into a trap. He needs to act fast. But the question is, where do they go from here? With the walls closing in and the threat of capture looming over them, Alex makes a decision. He's going to reach out to Liam once more, but this time, he'll take a different approach. They can't stay here any longer. They need to find a way to escape the city before it's too late. The judge is coming for them, and Alex can feel the storm on the horizon. Alex's instincts were right. As soon as he contacts Liam, the plan to move them to a more secure location is set into motion. But things don't go as planned. As Alex and Maya prepare to leave, the unmistakable sound of footsteps reaches their ears. A group of men dressed in black are making their way toward the house. They found them. Maya acts quickly, grabbing her gear and signaling Alex to follow her. They slip out the back door, heading into the alley behind the safe house. The air is thick with tension as they move swiftly, trying to keep their steps silent. But the danger is imminent. The judge's men are close, and they have nowhere to hide. The city streets, once a place of refuge, now feel like a maze, each corner potentially hiding death. The sound of approaching footsteps grows louder. Alex and Maya take a sharp turn, ducking into a narrow passage between two buildings. It's a tight fit, but they don't have much of a choice. Their hearts race as they move through the dark alleyways, trying to put as much distance as possible between themselves and the armed men in pursuit. They know they can't outrun them forever, but they need to buy themselves time. Just when it seems like they might escape, a figure emerges from the shadows. It's one of the judge's men, his gun aimed directly at them. The encounter is swift, and Alex's heart races as he makes a split-second decision. He lunges forward, knocking the gun from the man's hand, and the two engage in a brutal struggle. Maya quickly incapacitates the other man, but the danger is far from over. The chase has only just begun. In the aftermath of the deadly encounter, Alex and Maya take a moment to catch their breath. The danger is far from over, but they've managed to escape, at least for now. They make their way to the rendezvous point, where Liam has arranged for them to be taken out of the city. They don't trust anyone anymore, but Liam is the only ally they have left. As they reach the safe house where Liam waits, Alex feels a renewed sense of urgency. They can't afford to be caught again, not with the documents in their possession. The plan is simple: leave the city, go underground, and wait for the storm to blow over. But even as they discuss their options, Alex knows that the judge's men will stop at nothing to track them down. The final confrontation is near, and it's inevitable. Liam greets them with a grim smile, a look of determination in his eyes. "I've got a way out for you," he says, leading them to a hidden exit in the back of the house. "But once you leave, there's no coming back. You're on your own." Alex and Maya exchange a look. There's no turning back now. They've made their choice, and they're committed to seeing it through. With the documents secured and the escape plan in place, Alex knows that the hardest part of their journey is yet to come. They're about to face the judge's wrath, and they'll have to outsmart him if they're going to survive. But for the first time in weeks, Alex feels a glimmer of hope. The truth will come out no matter the cost. As Alex and Maya make their way to the hidden exit, the weight of their situation presses heavily on their shoulders. The city, once familiar and comforting, now feels like a prison. They can't trust anyone, not even those who seem like allies. Liam may have helped them so far, but the danger still looms large. They need to disappear completely. The hidden passage leads them to a network of underground tunnels that stretch deep beneath the city. The air is thick with dust, and the darkness is almost suffocating. As they walk in silence, Alex's thoughts race. The truth is within their grasp, yet the cost of revealing it could be catastrophic. The judge will stop at nothing to eliminate anyone who threatens his empire, and Alex knows they're not safe yet. Maya stays close, her eyes scanning the shadows. The only sound is their footsteps echoing off the cold walls. They can't afford to make a sound, and every step feels like it could be their last. As they reach the end of the tunnel, they emerge into an abandoned warehouse district. The place feels empty, desolate, perfect for laying low for a while. Liam has arranged for them to meet a contact who will help them get out of the country. It's their only option. The risk is immense, but there's no turning back. They've come too far to back down now. As they wait for the contact to arrive, the sound of distant sirens reminds them that they're not safe. The judge's men are still hunting them, and time is running out. The waiting is agonizing. Every minute feels like an eternity as Alex and Maya crouch low in the shadows of the warehouse. The city feels alien now, like a labyrinth that they've been trapped in for too long. Their contact should be here soon, but doubt creeps into Alex's mind. What if this is another trap? What if they're being set up once again? Suddenly, a shadow moves at the edge of the warehouse. Maya tenses, her hand instinctively reaching for her weapon. But Alex stops her. "It's him," he whispers, recognizing the silhouette of the contact. The man approaches cautiously, glancing around before stepping into the dim light. He's tall, with a stern expression, and his clothes are nondescript. "You two are a long way from where you started," he says, his voice low and gravelly. Alex nods, handing over the documents. The man doesn't waste any time flipping through the files, his eyes scanning the contents. "This is bigger than I thought," he mutters. "You've got the judge by the throat." Alex and Maya exchange a glance. They know this could be their ticket out, but there's still the question of whether or not they can trust him. The man looks up, his eyes sharp. "I can get you both out of here. But you need to disappear for good." The deal is made. The man leads them to a hidden transport vehicle waiting in the shadows, the engine humming softly. It's a long shot, but it's their only shot. Alex climbs into the vehicle, followed by Maya. As the door shuts behind them, they can't help but feel a glimmer of hope. The plan is in motion, and the final piece of the puzzle is falling into place. The transport vehicle speeds through the city streets, weaving through traffic as it heads toward the outskirts of town. Alex watches the city fade into the distance, a sense of relief washing over him. For the first time in weeks, they're on the move, escaping the clutches of the judge's empire. But even as the city fades away, the danger remains. Maya is on high alert, her eyes constantly scanning the road behind them. The judge's men are relentless, and Alex knows that it's only a matter of time before they catch wind of their escape. The documents they carry are too valuable to leave behind. They've made enemies at the highest levels of power, and those enemies won't rest until Alex and Maya are dead. Alex leans forward, speaking quietly to the driver. "How much longer until we're out of range?" The driver glances at him in the rearview mirror, his face grim. "It's hard to say. We're not exactly in the clear yet." The tension in the vehicle is palpable. Every passing minute feels like a countdown to their capture, but they have no choice but to keep moving forward. As they approach the edge of the city, Alex spots a familiar black SUV trailing them. His heart sinks. They've been spotted. The judge's men are closing in, and they're not going to let them escape without a fight. The chase is on, and the stakes have never been higher. Alex knows that this will be the final test. They either escape or face the consequences. The SUV behind them accelerates, drawing closer with every passing second. The driver of their transport vehicle floors the gas pedal, but the SUV keeps pace. Maya is ready for action, her hand on her weapon as she leans toward Alex. "We can't outrun them forever," she says, her voice steady. "We need to fight back." Alex nods. He knows they're running out of options. Without warning, the SUV makes a move, pulling up alongside the transport vehicle. The windows roll down, and gunfire erupts, forcing the driver to swerve. Alex ducks instinctively, his heart pounding in his chest. The shots are coming fast, and they can't afford to be hit. Maya reacts immediately, returning fire with deadly precision, her aim sharp despite the chaos. The gunmen in the SUV duck back, but they're not giving up. The transport driver weaves through traffic, taking sharp turns and speeding down side streets in an attempt to shake off their pursuers. But the SUV is relentless, and it's only a matter of time before they close in again. Alex knows they need to end this, and fast. He motions for the driver to make another sharp turn. The vehicle swerves violently, and for a moment, Alex thinks they've lost them. But the SUV is still there, right on their tail. In a desperate bid, Alex opens the door, preparing to jump. Maya looks at him, wide-eyed. "What are you doing?" she asks. "Trust me," Alex says, his voice tight with determination. "It's time to end this chase." Alex opens the door, ready to leap into action. The SUV is dangerously close now, and the gunmen are preparing to take another shot. The transport vehicle jerks as the driver makes another sharp turn, but it's clear that the SUV is gaining on them. This isn't just about escaping anymore, it's about survival. With no time to waste, Alex jumps from the vehicle, landing on the pavement with a roll. He immediately dives into an alleyway, hoping to lose the SUV in the maze of city streets. His heart races as he hears the SUV screech to a halt behind him. He's on foot now, but the gunmen are fast and relentless. He's been trained for situations like this, but he knows it's a high-risk maneuver. Maya follows close behind, her determination evident in her swift movements. She's not leaving him behind. The two of them navigate the tight alleyways, cutting across back streets to avoid being cornered. The sound of footsteps chasing them is deafening. There's no time to look back. They need to keep moving. But even as they run, Alex can feel the walls closing in. They emerge into a more open street, but it's no safer. The SUV is now in pursuit, its engine roaring as it races toward them. Alex grabs Maya's arm and pulls her toward a nearby building. "We need to climb," he says. The two of them scale a fire escape, reaching the rooftop just as the SUV pulls up. From above, Alex surveys the street, realizing they've run out of time. The final confrontation is near. From the rooftop, Alex and Maya watch the SUV's occupants get out. They're surrounded by more of the judge's men, all heavily armed and prepared for a fight. Alex's heart beats faster, but his mind is sharp. They can't afford to make a wrong move now. The documents they carry are the key to bringing down the judge, but in their current situation, survival is the only thing that matters. "Think we can make it to the other side of the block?" Maya asks, eyeing the distance between the two buildings. Alex nods, though it feels like a slim chance. The moment they make a move, the men below will see them. He quickly scans the surrounding area for any possible escape routes. The streets are littered with obstacles, and there's nowhere to hide. "We don't have a choice," Alex says, his voice low but steady. He looks at Maya, their connection unspoken but strong. "On my mark." As the sounds of the gunmen's footsteps grow louder, they wait. Every muscle in Alex's body is tense, ready for what's to come. The plan is simple. They run, and they run fast. But even as the countdown begins in his mind, Alex knows that nothing is certain. "Now!" Alex shouts. The two of them leap from the rooftop just as the gunmen look up. It's a wild, desperate move, but they land on the next building's ledge. The sound of gunfire erupts behind them, but they keep running, not stopping for anything. Their only hope now is to reach the back alleys and disappear into the city's underbelly. The judge's men won't stop until they're caught, and Alex knows they can't let that happen. Just when it seems like they're about to be cornered, a a surprising figure appears. From an alleyway ahead, a man steps forward, his face masked by a hood. He's holding a weapon, but it's not aimed at Alex or Maya. Instead, he gestures for them to follow him. Maya hesitates, her instincts on high alert. But Alex, ever the pragmatist, sees no other option. They need help, and this man might be their only chance. The figure moves quickly, leading them down a narrow path that seems to have been designed for moments like this. The chase continues behind them, but the man is always a step ahead, guiding them through hidden passages and quiet backstreets. They weave through the city like ghosts, never once stopping long enough for their pursuers to catch up. Alex glances over at Maya, who's still processing the sudden turn of events. "Who is he?" Maya whispers, barely able to keep up with their new guide. Alex shakes his head, unsure, but he trusts his instincts. The man doesn't seem like one of the judge's men. In fact, there's something familiar about him, as if he's been in this game longer than either of them. But that's not important right now. Survival is the only thing on their minds. After what feels like an eternity, the man leads them to a hidden safe house. It's small and inconspicuous, tucked away in a residential area. "You're safe for now," he says, his voice low and gravelly. "But don't think this is over. The judge will come for you." As the door closes behind them, Alex and Maya are left with more questions than answers. But for the first time in a long while, they have a moment to breathe. The safe house feels like a temporary respite. As they sit in silence, Alex and Maya try to make sense of everything that's happened so far. The sudden appearance of their mysterious ally raises more questions than it answers. Who is he? Why did he help them? And perhaps most importantly, how does he know so much about the judge and his operation? Their new ally, who only introduces himself as Hawk, finally sits down across from them. He studies them for a long moment before speaking. "You've been running for a long time, haven't you?" he asks. Alex nods, the weight of the last few weeks pressing on him. "We've seen things no one should ever see." Hawk's eyes narrow, as if he's trying to decide whether or not to trust them. "You're not the first to try and take the judge down," he says quietly, "but no one's ever made it out alive." Maya looks at Hawk, her suspicion clear. "What's your stake in all this?" she asks, her voice sharp. Hawk hesitates before responding. "I've been tracking the judge for years," he says. "I've seen what he's done to people, to families. I'm not on your side, but I'm not on his side either. I'm here to make sure he pays for everything he's done." Alex and Maya exchange a look. There's something about Hawk's words that rings true, but they can't afford to trust him fully. Still, for now they have no other choice. "We need to stop him," Alex says firmly. Hawk nods. "We will. But we need a plan." The safe house is quiet, save for the occasional creak of the floorboards as they all sit in tense silence. Hawk has laid out a detailed plan, but Alex and Maya aren't sure if they should fully trust it. The plan hinges on a crucial piece of information: a secret meeting between the judge and several high-ranking officials set to take place in just a few days. Hawk believes it's their only chance to expose the judge for the criminal he truly is. "This is the moment we've been waiting for," Hawk says, pointing to a map spread out on the table. "The judge is meeting with his allies to finalize a deal that will solidify his power. If we can get to that meeting, we can expose him and bring everything crashing down." Maya looks skeptical. "And how exactly do we get close enough to him without getting killed?" she asks, her tone sharp. Alex thinks it through, trying to see any flaws in the plan. But Hawk's logic is sound. The judge is arrogant, overconfident. He never believes anyone could get the drop on him. This is their chance to strike. "We'll have to get in as close as possible," Alex says. "We'll infiltrate the meeting, gather the evidence, and get out before anyone even knows we're there." Hawk nods. "We'll need a distraction, something big enough to pull the judge's guards away from the meeting. But that's where you two come in." Alex feels the weight of the moment. This is their shot, but it's dangerous. If they fail, they'll be dead. If they succeed, the judge will finally fall. The next few days are a blur of preparation. Hawk trains Alex and Maya in the art of stealth and subterfuge, teaching them how to move undetected in hostile environments. The plan hinges on them being invisible. If they're caught, the entire operation will be compromised. They can't afford any mistakes. Every detail of the mission must be perfect. Maya, ever the skeptic, is taking it all in with a sense of guarded determination. She trains harder than anyone else, her focus intense. She knows this is her chance to take down the man who's ruined so many lives, including her own. But there's a lingering doubt in her mind. She's seen too many people fail in situations like this. The risks are enormous, and she wonders if it's worth it. Alex, on the other hand, is more certain. He's been in the field long enough to know that these kinds of operations are always a gamble. But this time, the stakes are higher. The judge has built an empire that reaches into every facet of society. Exposing him could bring the entire system to its knees. It's a chance they can't pass up, no matter the risk. As the days pass, they grow more and more focused on their roles. They're ready. They have the intel, the tools, and the plan. The heist is set, but the weight of the upcoming mission sits heavy on Alex's shoulders. One wrong move could mean disaster. The moment of truth is approaching, and nothing is certain. The night before the mission, Alex and Maya sit in the safe house, the tension between them palpable. Hawk has gone over the plan one last time, and now it's just a matter of waiting. The hours seem to stretch endlessly as the enormity of the task sinks in. The world feels like it's holding its breath. Maya sits by the window, staring out into the night. She's quiet, lost in thought. Alex watches her, wondering what's going through her mind. After everything they've been through, this mission could be the end of it all. They could walk away from this with their lives, or they could end up buried in an unmarked grave, forgotten by the world. The stakes are impossible to ignore. "You think we're ready?" Maya asks suddenly, breaking the silence. Alex looks at her, seeing the uncertainty in her eyes. "I don't know," he admits. "But we don't have a choice. We have to do this." Maya nods, her lips pressed in a tight line. She doesn't say anything more, but her silence speaks volumes. She's not scared. She's focused. She knows what needs to be done. As the night drags on, both of them prepare in their own ways. Maya sharpens her weapons, making sure everything is in order. Alex double-checks the intel, memorizing the details of the building they'll infiltrate and the people they'll encounter. Every step of the plan must be perfect. The calm before the storm is unnerving, but it's also necessary. Tomorrow, everything changes. The next morning, Alex and Maya are up early, ready to put their plan into action. The safe house is eerily quiet as they prepare to leave. Hawk has already gone ahead to set things in motion, creating the diversion they'll need. Their part of the plan is the riskiest. They need to infiltrate the building where the judge is meeting with his allies, and they can't afford any mistakes. The building is heavily guarded, a fortress of steel and glass. Alex and Maya make their way to the entrance, dressed in nondescript clothing to blend in. They have a cover story prepared, but the truth is, the guards will be on high alert. One wrong move, and everything will fall apart. As they approach the main entrance, Alex signals for Maya to stop. He watches the guards, noting their movements, the routine they follow. There's a small window of opportunity, a gap in the security they can exploit. With a deep breath, Alex motions for them to move. They slip through the gate, unnoticed. For now, they're inside. The tension is unbearable as they move deeper into the building. Every step feels like a risk. Alex can't shake the feeling that they're being watched, even though they haven't been detected yet. But there's no time to second guess. They need to keep moving forward. The judge is just ahead, and they're about to confront the monster head-on. Inside the building, Alex and Maya move swiftly, navigating hallways and staircases that seem to twist and turn with no end. Their footsteps are silent, their movements fluid as they follow the map Hawk gave them. But the further they go, the more the weight of their mission presses on them. The judge is close, and they can feel his presence in the air. It's almost as if the walls themselves are alive with the power he commands. As they approach the meeting room, they pause at a door. Alex checks the security system, noticing a small camera placed just above their heads. He signals to Maya, who takes out a small device that will disable the cameras temporarily. The seconds feel like hours, but the device works perfectly, and the camera blinks off. They slip through the door, unnoticed. Inside, the room is full of high-ranking officials. Some they recognize, others they don't. The judge stands at the center of the room, exuding the kind of power that's nearly palpable. Alex and Maya exchange a glance, knowing that this is the moment they've been preparing for. It's now or never. They blend into the shadows, watching from a corner. The deal being struck is more significant than they realized. The judge is planning something that could affect the entire country. He's too dangerous, too connected. They have to get the evidence, and they have to leave. Alex takes a deep breath, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. This will be their biggest challenge yet. The room grows tense as the judge finalizes his negotiations. His voice is smooth, authoritative, every word laced with the promise of power. The officials around him nod, agreeing to his terms. Alex watches closely, trying to pick up any useful information that might expose the judge's true agenda. But it's hard to focus with the adrenaline coursing through his veins. One wrong move, and the entire operation will be compromised. Maya is positioned near the back of the room, her eyes scanning the group of men in suits. She's looking for the slightest indication of a potential threat. But there's something unsettling about this meeting. It feels too controlled, too perfect. Everything is going according to the judge's plan, and Alex knows that nothing is ever as it seems when the judge is involved. Suddenly, one of the officials stands up, raising a hand. "You promised us something, Judge," he says, his tone cold. "Where's the proof?" The judge smiles, a predatory grin that sends a chill down Alex's spine. "You'll have it soon enough," he replies smoothly. "Everything is in place." He motions to a man standing near a podium, who pulls out a folder thick with documents. The deal is about to be sealed, and Alex knows they have to act now. As the folder is passed around the room, Alex takes a step forward, his heart racing. The evidence they need is in that folder. If they can get it, they can destroy the judge's operation. But just as he moves, a loud crash sounds from outside the room. The distraction is all they need. Chaos erupts, and Alex knows this is their moment. The crash shakes the building to its core, and the room instantly erupts into panic. The judge's men draw their weapons, taking defensive positions. Alex and Maya don't hesitate. They dart across the room, moving as quickly as possible without drawing attention. The chaos around them works in their favor. No one notices them slip behind the podium, where the folder containing the critical documents is left unattended. Maya grabs the folder, her hands trembling as she holds it. They need to get out, and fast. The distraction outside is only a temporary solution. The judge's men will regain control soon, and when they do, the building will be on lockdown. They can't afford to be trapped here. Alex signals to Maya, his expression hard with determination. The two of them make a break for the exit, moving swiftly through the corridors. Gunfire echoes behind them, but they don't slow down. The sound of boots pounding the floor grows louder, and Alex knows they're not far behind. He glances at Maya, who looks just as determined as he feels. This is their last chance. They can't afford to be caught now. As they near the exit, a guard steps out from around the corner. He spots them immediately, and Alex knows they've been compromised. But they don't stop. With a quick motion, Alex tackles the guard, knocking him to the ground. Maya follows closely behind, and together, they race out of the building. The world outside is chaotic, but they're free. For now. Outside, the chaos is even worse than Alex and Maya anticipated. The streets are filled with sirens and the sound of gunfire. The distraction they'd planned has worked, but now the entire city seems to be on high alert. Alex feels the weight of the documents in his hand, the evidence they've fought so hard for. They can't let it fall into the wrong hands. They sprint through the streets, dodging pedestrians and vehicles as they make their way to a designated rendezvous point. They know they need to disappear before the judge's men realize what's happened. Hawk has arranged for a safe getaway, but it's still risky. There's no telling how long they have before the judge sends his forces to track them down. As they reach an alleyway, a car screeches to a halt in front of them. Hawk is inside, motioning for them to get in. Without hesitation, Alex and Maya dive into the car, and it speeds off. The world outside seems to blur as they drive deeper into the city. They can't stop now. They have the evidence, but the judge won't stop hunting them until they're dead. The car weaves through narrow streets, taking them to an underground hideout. For the moment, they're safe. But Alex knows it's only a temporary reprieve. The real battle is just beginning. The judge will come for them, and when he does, they'll need to be ready. The underground hideout is dark and silent, a stark contrast to the chaos they've just escaped. Alex, Maya, and Hawk sit in a circle, the stolen folder resting on the table in front of them. The moment of triumph feels hollow. The judge has seen the chaos they've caused, and it's only a matter of time before he sends everything he has to track them down. Maya flips through the folder, her eyes scanning the documents, her fingers trembling slightly. "This is it," she says, her voice low. "This is the evidence we needed." The documents detail the illegal dealings, money laundering, and the shady political connections that the judge has kept hidden for years. This is the key to bringing him down. But the risk is enormous. As they pore over the evidence, Alex can't shake the feeling that they're being watched. The walls of the hideout feel like they're closing in, and every sound makes his nerves jump. They need to make their next move, and fast. If they stay too long in one place, they'll be caught. The judge's reach is far and wide, and his network is more extensive than they ever imagined. "We can't stay here for long," Hawk says, breaking the silence. "We need to get this information to the right people, expose the judge's empire before he can retaliate. The longer we wait, the more dangerous it becomes." Alex nods in agreement, knowing that Hawk is right. They've come this far, and they can't let the judge win now. As the hours drag on, the tension in the hideout becomes unbearable. The urgency of their mission weighs on everyone's shoulders. But just as they begin to formulate a plan for getting the evidence out of the country, a sudden knock at the door stops them cold. It's too soon for anyone to have tracked them here. Hawk motions for silence, his hand on his weapon. Alex's mind races. Could it be a trap? They've been too careful, and yet something doesn't feel right. The knock comes again, more insistent this time. They have no choice but to answer it. Hawk moves toward the door, his eyes scanning the room for any signs of danger. He opens the door cautiously, only to find an unexpected face standing there, one that Alex never thought he would see again. It's Donovan, a former ally from their earlier days, a man who once had their backs, but now there's something different about him. He doesn't look like the man they once trusted. His eyes are cold, calculating, and Alex realizes with a sinking feeling that something has changed. Donovan isn't here to help. He's here to betray them. "You're making a huge mistake," Donovan says, his voice low and dangerous. "The judge is not someone you want to go up against. You'll never win." The implication is clear. Donovan has switched allegiances, and he's working for the judge now. Alex's heart races as the trap closes in. The atmosphere shifts instantly. What was once a moment of quiet planning is now filled with danger. Donovan steps into the hideout, his gaze sweeping over the room. He's not alone. A group of armed men follows him, each one holding a weapon and wearing the same cold, empty expression. Maya's hand tightens around her weapon, her stance ready. She doesn't need words to communicate her intent. She's prepared to fight. Alex looks to Hawk, who silently motions for them to move. There's no time to think. They have to act now. They don't have the luxury of hesitation. Donovan sneers as the tension mounts. "You think you can take down the judge? You've already lost," he taunts. The men behind him advance, weapons drawn. Alex's heart pounds in his chest, but he remains focused. This isn't over yet. They've come too far to back down now. With a sudden motion, Alex lunges forward, taking out the first man in a blur of action. Maya follows suit, her strikes precise and deadly. The room erupts into chaos as the fight spills into the open. Guns fire, punches land, and the air is thick with the sound of combat. The betrayer and his men are formidable opponents, but Alex and Maya are faster, more determined. The survival instincts that have carried them this far kick into overdrive. This isn't just about the mission anymore, it's about staying alive. The battle rages on, the tension in the room palpable. Donovan's men are well trained, but Alex and Maya are relentless. They fight with everything they have, driven by the need to survive and the knowledge that failure is not an option. As the gunfire erupts and the dust settles, the remaining attackers begin to retreat, realizing they are outmatched. Hawk moves swiftly, checking the downed enemies to ensure they aren't faking their injuries. He pulls out a device, a small communicator, and relays a message. "The escape route is secured. We need to move, now." Alex nods, wiping sweat from his brow. The fight isn't over, but they've gained a momentary advantage. They can't waste it. Maya, breathing heavily but composed, grabs the folder with the evidence. "We can't let this fall into their hands," she says, her voice low but fierce. "Let's go." They rush through the hideout, knowing that Donovan's betrayal has just set them on a new path, one that's more dangerous than ever before. The exit is close. They can hear the faint sound of sirens in the distance, but Hawk's escape route is their ticket out. The plan has shifted, but they're not backing down. As they make their way through the back exit, Alex feels a surge of hope. They can still do this. They can still win. But the road ahead will be more perilous than ever. The escape route is narrow, a hidden corridor beneath the city that leads to an underground network. The air is musty and the walls are lined with the detritus of years of neglect. But it's a temporary haven. The moment they step inside, Hawk leads the way, his eyes sharp as he surveys their surroundings. Alex and Maya follow, their adrenaline still high from the battle they just fought. As they move deeper into the underground passage, Alex can't shake the feeling that they're being hunted. The sounds of footsteps echoing down the tunnel make him nervous. There's no telling how many of the judge's men are out there, but he knows they're close. Every second they waste puts them in more danger. Hawk, however, remains calm. His years of experience show as he moves with precision, scanning for any potential threats. Maya, clutching the folder, stays close behind, her eyes constantly darting around. "Do you think we've lost them?" she asks, her voice tinged with uncertainty. Alex shakes his head. "Not for long. The judge won't let this go." The judge's network is vast, and it's only a matter of time before they catch up. But the evidence they've taken could be their only chance to expose him for good. They reach a hidden door at the end of the tunnel, and Hawk stops to examine it. It's their last safe spot before they get to the surface. He signals for Alex and Maya to stay back, then cautiously opens the door. They're still not safe, but they're closer to the next stage of the plan. It's time to make their next move, and they have to do it quickly. The city above is in chaos, but beneath the surface, Alex, Maya, and Hawk are preparing for their final confrontation with the judge. The last safe house is a dilapidated warehouse, hidden from the prying eyes of the judge's men. Once inside, they begin planning their next move. Hawk's eyes are focused on the documents, the evidence they've stolen from the judge's secret meeting. Every moment feels crucial. They're on borrowed time. "I've got a contact who can help us get this information out of the country," Hawk says, flipping through the folder. "But we'll need to move fast. The judge will have eyes everywhere soon. We'll be running out of time." Maya nods, her face set in determination. She's been through hell to get here, and she's not stopping now. "Let's get it to the right people then," she says firmly. As they prepare to leave the warehouse, a loud bang echoes from outside. Someone is here. Alex's heart races as he motions for everyone to take cover. Hawk pulls out a gun, his movements fluid and calm. They've trained for moments like this, but even still, the tension is unbearable. The judge's men are closing in fast. The time for careful planning is over. They have to act now. The door to the warehouse bursts open, and a group of armed men pour inside. Without hesitation, Alex and Maya spring into action. The fight is brutal, a blur of gunfire, quick reflexes, and desperate survival. They don't have the luxury of holding back now. Their lives depend on them defeating these men and escaping to safety. The outcome of the entire mission hangs in the balance, and they can't afford to lose. After a brutal skirmish, the dust begins to settle. The judge's men are down, but Alex and Maya are left with little time to catch their breath. Hawk checks the bodies of the fallen men, ensuring none are faking their injuries. As he moves, his gaze lands on one of the attackers, and something clicks in his mind. "That's impossible," Hawk mutters under his breath, crouching down to inspect the man's uniform more closely. Alex and Maya exchange worried glances. "What is it?" Maya asks, her voice tense. Hawk doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he pulls off the man's mask, revealing a face that sends a chill down Alex's spine. It's Donovan, the man who betrayed them. "No," Alex whispers in disbelief. "He's been working for the judge all along." The betrayal cuts deep. Donovan was once their ally, someone they trusted. But now, he's just another cog in the judge's ruthless machine. The realization hits hard, but Alex knows they can't let it break them. The mission is still too important. "We need to get out of here," Hawk says, standing up and looking around the warehouse. The judge's men are everywhere, and they can't afford to stay any longer. But as they move toward the exit, Alex can't help but feel the weight of what's happened. The closer they get to the truth, the more dangerous this fight becomes. The battle for survival is far from over, and the stakes have never been higher. The escape route is narrow, a labyrinth of tunnels and hidden passageways that seem to stretch on forever. But Alex, Maya, and Hawk move with purpose. They've lost valuable time fighting off the judge's men, but they can't afford to lose more. Each step takes them further away from the chaos outside, but closer to their ultimate goal, exposing the judge. As they move through the underground network, the weight of their mission presses down on them. The documents they carry hold the key to bringing the judge's empire to its knees, but the judge won't let them escape so easily. They can already feel his presence closing in, the tension thickening in the air. At every turn they face new obstacles, booby traps, security systems, and enemies lurking in the shadows. But they're not giving up. The stakes are too high. Alex pushes forward, his eyes scanning the darkness ahead. They've come too far to turn back now. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, they reach the surface. But they aren't safe yet. The judge's forces are closing in on them from every direction. They have only one chance to escape, and they have to make it count. The world around them is a blur of motion, and the clock is ticking. Will they succeed in exposing the judge, or will they fall before his wrath? The city feels different now. The streets are eerily quiet as Alex, Maya, and Hawk race through the alleyways, the stolen documents clutched tightly in their hands. The adrenaline is starting to wear off, and exhaustion is beginning to set in. They've fought through betrayals, gunfights, and near-death encounters, but they're not done yet. The judge's forces are still on their tail, and their only hope now is to get the documents into the hands of those who can expose him once and for all. They stop briefly in a secluded area, catching their breath. Hawk looks at the documents one last time. This is it. If we make it out of here alive, the judge's empire crumbles. His voice is steady, but the tension in his eyes betrays him. The road ahead is uncertain, but they can't afford to hesitate. They're running out of time. Maya scans the surroundings, her instincts on high alert. We can't trust anyone now. Everyone's a potential enemy. Her words cut through the silence, and Alex nods grimly. They've been betrayed too many times to let their guard down now. The stakes are too high. They need to make contact with their inside ally, someone who can help them get the evidence to the right people. If they fail now, everything they've fought for will be in vain. The weight of their mission presses on their shoulders, but the trio pushes forward. Each step feels like it could be their last, but they remain determined. They've come too far to stop now. There's no turning back. The fate of the entire operation rests on their shoulders, and they can't afford to fail. The streets are tense, and the sounds of distant sirens grow louder as they make their way toward a secret rendezvous point. Hawk leads the way, his movements calculated, but even he can't shake the sense of impending danger. Every shadow feels like a threat. Every passing car is a potential trap. The closer they get to the meeting spot, the more their hearts race. This is their final chance to end this. We're almost there, Hawk says, keeping his voice low. We just need to hold it together a little longer. Maya nods, gripping her weapon tightly. She's been in countless dangerous situations, but this one feels different. This isn't just about survival. It's about bringing the judge down, and that makes it personal. Every betrayal, every fight, every narrow escape has led to this moment. As they approach the rendezvous point, Alex feels a shift in the air. Something's not right. The street lights flicker ominously, and the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. Hawk seems to sense it, too, his eyes narrowing. Stay sharp, he whispers. They move closer, their footsteps silent but deliberate. The tension is palpable. They can feel the weight of the moment closing in on them. Then a voice breaks the silence, a familiar voice but one that sends a chill down Alex's spine. You're late. They turn to find Donovan standing in the shadows, his cold eyes gleaming with malice. The betrayal is complete. Donovan isn't here to help, he's here to end them. Donovan steps forward, his weapon drawn, his face twisted with contempt. You really thought you could take down the judge? He sneers, his tone dripping with mockery. You've been running for so long, and for what? To hand over the evidence to people who can't even protect you. His voice is low, and every word stings like a lash. Alex's pulse spikes, his fists clenching in anger. You won't win this, Donovan, Maya says, her voice steady but filled with fury. The judge's time is up. Her words hang in the air, but Donovan only laughs. You think the world will change because you hand over some documents? The judge is untouchable, and now you're in my way. With a quick motion, Donovan signals to the men standing behind him. The atmosphere shifts, and Alex knows they're outnumbered. The odds are stacked against them. Every move now is a fight for survival. Hawk's hand instinctively goes to his gun, and Alex can feel the tension in the air as both sides prepare for the inevitable showdown. We're not done yet, Alex says, his voice filled with determination. You may have switched sides, but we're still fighting. The group bristles, ready for whatever comes next. The final battle for survival has begun, and there's no going back now. The warehouse becomes a battleground. Donovan and his men move in quickly, surrounding Alex, Maya, and Hawk. The sound of gunfire rings out, sharp and deafening, as bullets fly past. Alex moves swiftly, his mind focused. He knows they can't afford to miss a single shot. One wrong move could mean their end. Maya and Hawk work in sync, covering each other's backs as they fight off the attackers. But Donovan isn't making this easy. He's relentless, pushing forward with everything he has. The fight is fierce, and every second feels like a lifetime. The warehouse is filled with the chaos of battle, the sounds of combat echoing through the cavernous space. Alex can feel the weight of the moment. This is it. There's no turning back. The fight for survival has become a fight for justice. Every blow they land against Donovan's men is a step closer to bringing down the judge. But even as they fight, Alex knows they can't let their guard down. The judge's empire is vast, and his reach is nearly limitless. If they fail, everything they've fought for will be lost. But there's a fire inside Alex now. He's not just fighting for survival anymore. He's fighting for something greater, something that will change the world. As the battle rages on, he knows this is the moment that will define everything. The judge will fall, and they will rise. As the fight rages on, Alex finds himself cornered. Donovan's men are relentless, pushing them further into the warehouse's darkened corners. The air is thick with smoke and the acrid scent of gunpowder. Alex can hear the heavy breathing of his comrades, but their focus is unwavering. Every move they make is deliberate, calculated. They're not just fighting for survival, they're fighting for something far greater. The sound of footsteps approaching signals the arrival of more enemies. Hawk, ever vigilant, takes the lead, opening fire and creating a path for Alex and Maya to follow. We need to get to the truck, Hawk says, his voice low but urgent. They can't afford to stay and fight much longer. Every minute they waste increases the risk of falling into the judge's trap. The escape route is their only chance. Maya's eyes are steely with determination as she fires a few more shots. We're not going down without a fight, she mutters, and her words seem to fuel them all. Alex knows she's right. There's no way they're backing down now. The judge has underestimated them, and this final push will be their victory. They have to reach the truck. If they can make it, they'll be one step closer to destroying the judge's empire once and for all. With a coordinated effort, they push forward, using the scattered debris as cover. Alex's heart races as they move closer to their goal. Every second counts. They can feel the heat of battle pressing down on them, but they won't stop. They can't. The stakes are too high, and this is the moment that will determine their fate. Just as they think they've secured their escape route, a loud explosion rips through the warehouse. The blast knocks them off their feet, and the world around them spins in chaos. The walls tremble, and the floor shakes. The judge's men aren't just after them. They've made their move. They've set the trap, and Alex, Maya, and Hawk are in the middle of it. Move! Now! Hawk shouts, regaining his footing first. The explosion was only the beginning. There's no time to think, only time to run. They dash toward the truck, but the path is no longer clear. The explosion has created a barrier, and the warehouse is starting to collapse. The sounds of falling debris echo around them, creating a terrifying atmosphere. Alex's heart pounds in his chest, and the adrenaline is overwhelming. Maya is ahead, darting through the smoke and rubble with an agility that surprises even Alex. Hawk and Alex follow closely behind, maneuvering around obstacles. The sound of approaching footsteps grows louder, and Alex knows they don't have much time. The truck is their only way out. They have to make it there before the judge's men catch up. With a final sprint, they reach the truck, and Alex slams the door shut behind them. The engine roars to life, and they speed away from the chaos, leaving the burning warehouse behind. But even as they drive, Alex knows they haven't escaped yet. The judge's network is vast, and the chase has only just begun. As they drive through the deserted streets, the tension in the truck is palpable. Hawk grips the steering wheel, his face set in concentration. Maya checks her weapon, ready for anything. Alex stares out the window, his mind racing. The stolen documents are still with them, but they're not safe yet. They can feel the judge's presence closing in, and every mile they drive only brings them closer to an inevitable showdown. "We need to get to the safe house," Hawk says, breaking the silence. "We'll lay low there for a while, regroup, and figure out our next move." But Alex knows that's not enough. The judge won't stop until they're dead. The only way to end this is to expose him, and they need to act fast. "We can't keep running," Alex says firmly. "We need to give the documents to the authorities now." Maya turns to Alex, her face serious. "We can't trust anyone yet. The judge has spies everywhere. If we expose him too soon, we'll be dead before the evidence reaches the right people." Alex knows she's right, but the frustration builds inside him. He wants to end this now, but he also knows they have to be careful. Every move they make could be their last. The tension between them is thick as they approach the safe house, but Alex knows they don't have much time. The final countdown has begun. The next move they make could be their last. They have to outsmart the judge, and they have to do it fast. The safe house is a rundown building on the outskirts of town, hidden in plain sight. The group arrives under the cover of night, their minds racing. They've barely escaped the explosion, and they know the judge's men are still on their trail. But the safe house offers them a brief respite. It's not much, but it's enough to regroup and plan their next move. Inside, the air is thick with tension. Hawk checks the perimeter, ensuring they're not being followed. Maya begins to clean her weapon, her mind focused on the next phase of their plan. Alex, however, can't stop thinking about the larger picture. They have the evidence, but the real battle is far from over. The judge is powerful, and they'll need all the help they can get. Just as Alex is about to speak, a knock on the door interrupts his thoughts. The sound is soft, almost imperceptible, but it's enough to make them all freeze. Hawk signals for silence, and the room goes still. Who could it be? No one else should know about this location. Tension fills the air as they wait, holding their breath. The door creaks open, and standing in the doorway is someone Alex never expected to see again. Donovan. He's unarmed, his face unreadable. "I've come to help," he says quietly. The room is filled with disbelief. Donovan, the man who betrayed them, now claims to be an ally. The question lingers in the air. Is this another trick, or is this the redemption they've been waiting for? Donovan stands in the doorway, his eyes cold but purposeful. The room is silent for a moment, as if everyone is processing his unexpected appearance. Alex's mind races. Can they really trust him? Donovan had been their enemy, the one who turned them in when they needed him most. Yet here he is, offering help. It feels like a cruel twist of fate, but Alex knows better than to ignore the possibility of an ally where there once was a foe. "Why should we trust you?" Maya's voice breaks the silence, laced with suspicion. She's holding her gun tightly, her stance ready for any sign of deception. Donovan raises his hands in surrender, his face genuine but hardened by the world he's chosen. "I've been working against the judge for longer than you know," he says, stepping further into the room. "I wasn't just a traitor, I was a double agent. I've been feeding information to people you wouldn't expect." His voice is steady, but there's an edge to it that tells Alex Donovan is hiding something more. Alex glances at Hawk, who remains vigilant, though his gaze betrays a mix of doubt and curiosity. "So, what's your plan now?" Alex asks. Donovan's eyes flicker toward the documents they've secured. "You have the evidence," he says, his voice lower now, "but you need the right contacts to get it to the right hands. I can provide that." His offer is tempting, too tempting. But Alex knows that nothing is ever as simple as it seems. There's a catch, and Donovan isn't telling them everything. "I'll help you," Donovan says, "but you need to trust me. We don't have much time." Alex hesitates, but the urgency in Donovan's voice is clear. The judge is coming, and they don't have many options left. They don't have to trust Donovan completely, but for now, he might be their only hope. The safe house is quiet, save for the faint hum of the wind outside. Donovan's revelation hangs in the air, leaving the team with more questions than answers. Maya paces back and forth, clearly unsettled by the unexpected turn of events. Hawk leans against the wall, his eyes narrowed as he studies Donovan. Alex, however, is deep in thought. The judge's empire is vast, and they need every advantage they can get. But can they afford to trust Donovan? "We need to move fast," Donovan says, breaking the silence. He's clearly frustrated, but the tension in his voice is also laced with urgency. "The judge's men are already closing in on us. If we don't act now, everything we've worked for will be for nothing." He pulls out a map and spreads it across the table. "This is where we make our stand. There's a secure drop-off point here, hidden in plain sight. I have people who can get the documents to the authorities, but it has to be now." Hawk studies the map for a moment, his brow furrowing in thought. "And you're sure this drop-off is secure?" he asks, still cautious. Donovan nods. "It's the safest place we can go right now. But we'll have to move quickly, and we'll have to cover our tracks." Alex feels the weight of the decision pressing down on him. If they go, they're putting everything on the line. Trusting Donovan, trusting the plan, trusting that they'll survive the journey. "This is it," Alex says, his voice resolute. "We will move out in the next hour. We don't stop until we get there. If Donovan's right, this is our only shot at taking down the judge." Maya and Hawk nod, their expressions hardening. There's no turning back now. They've made their choice. The plan is set, and they must follow through, no matter the cost. The hours tick by as the team prepares for the journey ahead. Tensions are high, and everyone is on edge. Alex can feel it, the unease, the lingering doubt that something might go wrong. But there's no room for fear now. The judge is still out there, his network vast and dangerous. This drop-off is their final chance to expose him and end his reign of terror. Donovan keeps a low profile, giving the team space to prepare. He's been strangely quiet, and Alex can't help but wonder if he's hiding something. But for now, they don't have the luxury of questioning every move. They need to focus on the mission. The documents are safe for now, but the real danger lies ahead. As they make their way to the drop-off point, the atmosphere is tense. Every shadow feels like a potential threat, and every sound makes Alex's heart race. The streets are nearly empty, and the silence is suffocating. It's as if the world is holding its breath, waiting for something to break. The further they go, the more the sense of danger grows. They can feel the eyes of the judge's men on them, even if they can't see them. They reach the drop-off point, a nondescript building at the edge of town. Donovan signals them to stop. "This is it," he whispers. "We'll go in, hand over the documents, and get out before anyone notices." Alex looks around, his senses heightened. They can't afford to make a mistake now. The moment of truth is here. Everything they've fought for comes down to this. Inside the building, everything feels off. The air is thick with tension, and every creak of the floorboards seems louder than it should be. Donovan moves quickly, as if he's been here 100 times before. "This way," he whispers, leading them down a narrow hallway. They've made it this far, but the question still lingers. Can they trust Donovan? Is this the trap they've been walking into all along? Alex stays close, his hand on his weapon. The drop-off point is just ahead, but as they turn the corner, they freeze. The room is empty, except for the unmistakable figure standing in the middle of the room. The judge. His cold eyes meet theirs, and for a moment, time seems to slow. Alex's heart drops. They've been led right into a trap. The judge's voice is calm, almost amused. "Did you really think you could outsmart me?" he asks, his smile chilling. "You've come all this way for nothing." Behind him, the shadows shift, revealing more of his men. The room is suddenly filled with armed guards, and Alex realizes they've been outplayed. This is the final confrontation. There's no escape now. The battle for survival is about to begin. If you enjoyed the story and want to see what happens next, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting chapter. Join the journey and be part of the action as we uncover more twists and turns. Don't forget to like, share, and comment with your thoughts. Your support helps us create even more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next chapter.